guys, welcome back to another Dark Discussions video. And we are going to be throwing in some theories in here as well, so you can kind of bring it together as Dark Theories and Dark Discussions. We're going to be talking a little bit about Crystal Lake, the new TV series that is in development over at Peacock based on the Friday the 13th franchise. Now, this series is essentially, from what I am understanding, is going to be a retelling of the events of the Friday the 13th films, beginning with a prequel covering a lot of Pamela's life prior to coming to Crystal Lake, and of course dealing with Jason's drowning and then the rise of Jason. Now, the way they worded how the series is going to sort of play out doesn't exactly mean that it's going to play out in a linear fashion. I'm thinking very much something very similar to that of Arrow, if you guys have ever seen that on the CW, where it kind of jumps from present to past here and there, and you get a little bit of story that is provided on both ends. Now, this is going to be interesting based on some of the news that we have gotten today, and we're going to get into the theory aspect of everything involving Crystal Lake. But the new Friday the 13th series coming to Peacock, I don't think we really have a release date or anything like that, any kind of release planned at all, but we now know, based on apparently some info from Brian Fuller, that we will be not only getting an episode written by Kevin Williamson, who also, you guys may know, is very synonymous with the Scream franchise as its writer as well. We're also going to be getting 2 different soundtracks for this series. One, as they have listed it, is a modern one, which I'm not sure exactly what that means, and another that is the way described, a classic Manfredini one. Now, I don't know what this means as opposed to a modern one. Is it gonna sound like the 2009 film? Is that where we're going with that soundtrack? Because the soundtrack for 2009, in my opinion, was pretty bland. It was pretty bland. It didn't scream Friday the 13th to me at all. So I'm not very certain that I'm too over the moon with that. I much prefer more of a classic Manfredini one, and then them actually doing one. I'm not sure if Harry Manfredini is actually coming back for this series. I would hope so. He did come back for the video game, but that, that's been a couple years since then. But is he coming back for this? It just says in this tweet, which I'll have up on the screen as well, it just says that it's a modern soundtrack with a classic Manfredini one. We don't know if it's actually Harry Manfredini or someone emulating his work. I don't know. I hope it's Harry Manfredini, but hopefully if it's not Harry Manfredini, hopefully they at least capture the essence of his soundtrack from the original series. We also have news of a familiar face in Friday the 13th coming back in a recurring role, and that is Adrian King. Adrian King is coming back to the Friday the 13th franchise and Crystal Lake. Now, I'm wondering, what role will she possibly play? And given everything that they have said about this series, not only being a prequel but taking place in the present day and possibly shifting back and forth, my mind immediately went to, is Adrian going to be playing Pamela, an older version of Pamela, prior to getting beheaded by who we may see as the new Alice? And then that makes me think, what if Crystal Lake's first season takes place in an elongated version of when Pamela comes to Crystal Lake and meets Alice, and when she's telling Alice about Jason and Jason drowning, and the whole monologue that she gives, which is still gives you chills, like just watching and listening to that, the way, the atmosphere and everything, how it goes. It's still so good even to this day. What if they take that scene, they elongate it, and now Adrienne King is playing that version of Pamela, and the entire first season is pretty much everything that happened in Pamela's past and to Jason. Like, we start with Pamela's past, we end with Jason drowning of the first season. And then season 2, because as we know, pretty much from what it says here, Fuller has pitched 4 seasons for Crystal Lake. Only one officially ordered so far. He notes Peacock would have to pay a pretty hefty penalty if they didn't order a season 2. So that says to me that if they only ordered 1 season, then this is likely going to be the case with Pamela's elongated version of that scene and telling her past leading up to Jason's drowning. And I think it's going to coincide with their discussion, with everything happening. So it's going to be a very interesting setup. Especially given if that does happen, you're going to have the events of Friday the 13th Part 1 play out in TV show format alongside with a prequel with flashbacks and everything, and it's going to be jumping back and forth. And with A24 being the studio behind it, giving you more and more and more emotional investment with Pamela in her past, getting you to understand why she is the way she is, because this isn't like Michael Myers, where Michael Myers, you don't want to know what makes him tick. With someone like Pamela, it's a tragic figure leading a tragic life, and all she knows is vengeance, and that's all she wants. So it's going to be interesting, especially seeing what A24 was able to do with the character of Pearl, and using that and putting it on Pamela. I think this is going to be very interesting. I'd be hard pressed to say that this series doesn't get picked up for season 2, but it all very much depends on not only A24 being able to knock it out of the park like they did with X and Pearl, but also they need very, very, very good effects on this. They need Savini level effects. And I hope that is the route they go with these kills. Now, I'm not asking for a bloodbath, although they did say that it's very possible that people are going to be dying every single episode, which could also, now that I think about it, even saying that, if people are dying every single episode, what if every kill that Pamela performs in the retelling of Friday the 13th, that it has some kind of emotional thread that gets tugged on by Pamela that makes her remember something from her past, and that's where we go? Or is it going to be something very similar to Fear Street, where pretty much the past leaves clues for the present, and we put it all together? Because we obviously know it's not going to be a mystery. It's not going to be a murder mystery like the first Friday the 13th was intended. We know this is going to involve Pamela. We know Pamela's the killer. The question is, what else are they going to throw at us that is going to make this different from the first film? What is going to remain faithful to the series as a whole? That's what it is. That's what it is. But I don't know. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for Camp Crystal Lake? Are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited for the Crystal Lake series? Are you excited for the possible return of Jason Voorhees if this gets picked up for multiple seasons? Are you excited for any of it? Or would you rather just scrap it all and let Friday the 13th die? Like, that's the question. What would you do for TV series as well. Comment below, and guys, be sure not only to like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever a new video is uploaded. Also, make sure, jump over, follow me on Twitch, join the Discord, join the party, join the community. We fucking love you, and we will see you in the next one. In the meantime, stay safe, have a good night, and as always, I am JG Dark, and thanks for watching.